Now I'm gonna get straight to it. Excuse if you hear any noise in the background. It's a lot going on. Um, I just want to say, I got time right now, so I want to get a few topics and a few things off my chest. I first want to start off by saying shout out to the true supporters, even if it's five or six, seven out of, you know, people that claim to be supporters. I do have a overstanding that there's a lot of bots and trolls, etc. I feel like for some strange reason, they just attract to me. You know, um, I first want to say for anybody out there doing anything, and I don't care if it sounds so repetitive, but you really got to catch this message. It's very important not to get distracted, you know, and be very mindful of who you have in your circle. I've been learning the hard way for a long time. If I could tell somebody that may, take heed and didn't have to go through the things I went through and others, you know, when you're on a journey of enlightenment, when you stand for something, you're gonna have people disliking you. You're gonna have people hating on you. You're gonna have people targeting you. And even how humble I could try to be, even speaking about myself, I have to give my own self a pat on the back and realize I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. I mean, rain, pain, storm, losing people, having to have to keep, you know, relocating to, not saying a person running from anything or nothing like that, but trying to better your situation and trying to figure out, what's your life purpose. I've worked jobs, I've done this and doing that, and I just realized, and I always felt like something was missing. So it's like, don't be distracted because it's definitely more than life just becoming whatever you want to become. you know, my aim is higher. Your aim is higher. That's why I always say those ones because there's people that just don't fit in with these crowds. Don't do everything that the norm is doing. Don't go out drinking and partying and doing whatever it may be over and over again and getting in big gossip circles. You know, people that have an overstanding that life is more to life than just partying or buying property and having all these material possessions. But that is what you and who you really call the fallen. Those people are low vibrational, they're earthbound. If you don't believe in something, you're going to fall for anything. Like I said, I am probably going to do my own more due diligence and even go through the good book, the Bible more and do more studies myself. But I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not a religious person. I have a belief in a higher power. And people really despise you when you stand out. When you have a certain light, when you have a certain energy, it really irritates these demonic entities, you know. And not all demons are bad. We have to have an understanding of that. Some may be trying to assist you in certain ways, but that's for a whole nother video. And just like it's a lot of trolls in life, period, no matter what you're doing, especially on this whole social media thing. It's like when you, I could have easily been, which I'm still going to do. I can't say when or how, etc. But I could have been doing certain interviews. I could have been trying to go viral. I could have been talking about the celebrities and things that's been going on in the world, which I have touched on. But I really speak on this underdog. The underdogs out there, the ones that been putting in all this work. and still not, excuse me, you know, putting in all this work, and it's like, they never seem to reap the benefits. It's like other people get rewarded from the hard work that you're doing. Other people benefit, while if it wasn't for you, you carry the world on your shoulder, and the worldly elements do not acknowledge you. But what's more important is, the gods, the higher deities, your ancestors, etc. They admire you to keep going, and it's just a message to those real ones and a note to self. See, it's a lot of things I could even be talking about right now. Oh, this not fair. This game been going on. I'm gonna continue going. And when the energy ain't right, I'm gonna shift and do something else, regardless of what I'm doing in this lifetime. Until the mission is complete, because we all come here for a reason and a purpose. We not just here to work jobs and get what is it, retire and expire. And some people, maybe that's all they here for. That's all they could vibrate. They can't. Their consciousness is not high enough to vibrate on a whole another different their excuse me again, their consciousness is not, they're so low vibrational, they can't ascend past a certain level, you know and that's usually people of any background, if depending on what their vibration is. If you like to just be around a bunch of, the in circle and the clubs and the bars and the outside and this and the newest fashion, and you want to get all the clothes everybody else getting, and you want to get on the same train, and you want to, drink the same drinks, you want to get the same cars, you want to rock the same shoes. That's an individual that's of the world. You're going to buy this new house. There's nothing wrong with being successful, but if that's your overall goal in life, is just to have material things, then you're not going to ascend past this physical realm. And if I'm talking crazy to certain people, it's because this content ain't never been for you. You know, as much as I say support the channel, it seems like at certain points it's the opposite, and it's obvious. But I still have to continue to remind myself this is a simulation. So of course you got bots and trolls. If I was a nobody, if I'm just a little Joe Smo, just me, you wouldn't have people trying to stop you or stop me or whoever that's doing whatever for a higher purpose, for a good cause. People that's living in their purpose. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm working on it. I know it's a lot of certain things that I have to work on. But I give myself a pat on the back because I've been through a lot. I have a lot of challenges, adversities. I've been in life and death situations. I've been in a lot of things. But like I said, for the real ones that's really supporting this channel, you got to support this channel in order for me to feel more comfortable. It's the reason why I put this mask on, because I said a heavily washed individual. If you've been checking this content, I'm not speaking these things for nothing. It's the experience. Prisoners of war, prisoner of war, and it's self-explanatory. I was trying to write a book labeled that when I was 17 years old. Before I had anything on my record, when I was trying to um, live past the expectations that society put on us, on a so-called minority that come from an inner city. But I'm here to tell you, you way bigger than that. You way bigger than these labels. You know what I'm saying? You have to have an understanding that you are beyond this flesh, and this life is a test. So even myself, I get caught up, I get angry, I get upset, and I have to realize these haters are here for a reason. You know, these demons are here for a reason. These trolls are here for a reason. They all here for a reason, and that's to upgrade you, whether you believe it or not. However you want to take it, if it's not for the struggle, if it's not for the hustle, if it's not for, you know, the humiliation, if it's not for the gossiping and the trolling and the all of that, then maybe you will not become the person that you are destined to become. Everything serves a purpose, you know? So once we have a excuse me again. Hold on, give me a second. Let me see. Okay, that's the paper over there. I was trying to write down some things, but so yeah, I mean, I got more content coming, but just support the channel. But you can't be distracted. And I've been distracted. I've been you know, hindered in so many ways, including in hindering myself by being stuck in some of the ways that I need to work on. See, it's all about self accountability. I'm not gonna blame an enemy for being an enemy. I'm not gonna blame a troll for being a troll. I'm gonna let them play their role, you know, and use them as study guides as I follow my inner guides and make sure I pay attention to my spirit guides, you know, and that's not crazy talk. It's that you know, these evil ones, and especially in high places, they know when you speak in a certain volume, when you speak in, you know, in a certain way, when you speak in that truth, when you speak in with intellect, when you speak in, you know, with power, they know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking to those real ones that came here to make changes and upgrade things, you know? Before you even knew who you are, you have people in high places really know who certain individuals are, however you want to put it or pronounce it, you know? Because if it wasn't, why would you bother somebody? Why would you spend so much time trying to study somebody and watch somebody and try to distract you? See, the devil and these devils and demons, they've mastered distractions, you know? In many ways you can get distracted. I get distracted all the time and I have to catch myself and get balanced. Just like now, I was gonna get ready to end the video because people know that I'm down here trying to do my peace of mind thing, and I knew they was gonna be making noise. But that's how Satan works. That's how evil spirits works. You know, you got walk-ins, certain evil entities that can't come in a form of any form. That's why they host your bodies. You know, whether you believe, I have to keep reminding myself that these are low vibrational demons, you know, especially with the whole gang stalking and the trolls. Because I'm not worried about nothing. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, you know, and I know I'm protected. But at the same time, I'm humble and I have an understanding that this is, you know, a chess game. This is a galactical um, chess game. And I forgot who said that. I think they was banning his videos. A lot of reasons why I don't throw out names sometimes, but I could have, but that's for a whole nother video anyway. It's all about a strategy. All the clues to life where they're telling you it's a game, it's this and this. That means you have to strategize. That means you have to make the best moves. That means certain times you can't act on emotions. You know, we get mad, we get sad, we get happy. You gotta learn how to control it. Because if the enemy know how to get you mad, know how to get you upset, know how to pull your strings, then you ain't gonna be but nothing but a puppet. And if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. You know, you're gonna sell your soul for fortune and fame and this and that. Nobody really wanna put the hard work in. You know, they rather um profit and live off of another person's hard work and dedication. You know, sit back and benefit off of of your hard work or someone else's hard work instead of out there going to do the work for themselves. And that could, for a physical sense and a mental sense and a spiritual sense, you have to do the work. You have to put the work in. You know, just like I was going to drop a video outside. I like to be out there sometimes, but I'm living in what they call the Midwest, so we got different temperatures. Sometimes it's cold, but it was decent today. I could have made the video, but alarms start going off, all kind of crazy things. Nothing is a coincidence, you know what I mean? It's distraction. You know you the one when you step outside and people get alerted. That speaks for itself, man. People get alerted like that's him, that's her, that's the one. Like you the one, you are the one, you know? And they know you protected. You know what I mean? So you can't have doubts in this. Have I had doubts? Yes. Have I got mad? Yes. Have I cursed and did all that? Yes, I have. But it always take that little voice that's like, hey, get it together. You know, a lot is dependent on you. You can't just go flying off the handles, getting mad because that's what they want you to do. You know, they want you to be distracted. They want you to be poor. They want you to not have nothing. They want you to be dumb and have no type of intellect or intelligence about yourself. They want you to not know no real history. They want you to know his story, you know, and that story may have nothing to do with you. That's why you have to know thyself, study thyself. So I'm gonna get ready and end this video, but you know, if you really support this channel and you want to hear certain stories, I got a bunch of them. You know, I do have some celebrity talk coming. Regardless if I get the comments back for as people let me know how they may feel about it, I'm gonna drop this stuff. I'm not gonna be discouraged. You don't be discouraged. You got many people doubting you, but you got a lot of people that depend on you, you know, in the physical and in the spiritual. And yes, I am talking to you, not them. I'm gonna end the vid. Like, comment, and subscribe, share. Turn on your post notifications. And if you want to support the channel, link in description. The growth. I'm out. Triple one.